Hi, it's Jonathan, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about insurance. Not the most exciting subject, but something that is really quite important for hypnotherapists to get right. Whether you're starting up or even as you're going forward, making sure that you are properly insured. So in this video, I'm going to talk about three things. I'm going to talk about why you need insurance, what kind of insurance cover you need, the things you need to look out for, and where you can go to get that kind of cover. So first of all, why do you need insurance? It might seem like a statement of the obvious, but any business that you're in, or even your personal life, we need to have insurance for the things we do for multiple reasons. A big part of that, of course, is the peace of mind that should something go wrong, should there be an issue, that you are covered, that you have got the right level of insurance in place. So that peace of mind is important. And the reality is that as a hypnotherapist, what you do is pretty low risk. There are still things that we need to be covered for. So there are things we need to be covered for, which I'll talk about in a moment. But again, about the building on the why we need to be insured. So first of all, there is that peace of mind. Secondly, depending on where you are in the world, it's quite likely to be an obligation, a legal obligation for you to be insured for the work you're doing. And even if it's not a legal obligation, and even if you don't want that peace of mind, you may find that certain things you want to do, like putting yourself on directories like hypnotherapy directories like that around the world, more than likely people will ask you for a copy of your liability insurance. If you speak at events, people will often want to see your insurance. If you start renting rooms in a therapy center, rooms by the hour, again, you will typically be asked for a copy of your insurance as well as a copy of your professional qualifications. So for many reasons, you need to have that cover. And the good thing is it's really cheap and it's pretty easy to get this cover. So what do you need to look out for? So first of all, you need the things that any business needs. You need that general indemnity liability for the kind of things that could go wrong, from somebody coming into your premises, coming into your home, if you're working at home in person and falling over, through to things potentially going wrong at the other end of the scale, potentially somebody making a claim for malpractice. So you need to be covered for that range of things. And it's really important to make sure that you get the right kind of insurance. And there are plenty of policies out there that are specific to not just therapy, but to hypnotherapists. So it's clear why you need it and the level of cover you need. So you obviously need to look at what you need for you in terms of covering the things that are typically covered by a business, or liability to others, whether that's a customer, colleague, a supplier, somebody knocking at your door, all of those typical things, through to that professional indemnity should somebody take legal action for you against malpractice or something like that. But also in terms of what you need to look out for, is really, really important to be aware of where you're working or where your clients are working from, particularly as many of us are working online these days. So so make sure that your policy covers you, not just for where you are, but also for where your clients are. And what you'll find with a lot of policies, and particularly if you're maybe working from Europe, the UK, is it may not automatically cover you working with clients in the US and Canada. So you need to make sure you've got that cover. Some companies don't offer that. Some include it as standard. Some charge it as a bolt-on because it's seen as a higher risk working with clients in the US and I'm sure you can understand some of the reasons for that. So, and again, whether you're working online, maybe you are working as a nomad and traveling, make sure you're covered from where you are. So really, really be mindful of that. The other thing to be mindful of around this is that maybe you haven't yet done your training. Maybe you're just thinking about all the things that you need. So it's really important to make sure that your training, what you're qualified in, is insurable, because most insurers will want to see proof, certification of your competence, of your training. And just because you've been on a course, that doesn't necessarily mean to say that they'll accept that. You need to make sure that insurers will accept the qualification that you have. So I think in the UK, for example, if you have a certification that says you're a clinical hypnotherapist, a certified hypnotherapist, increasingly an RTT therapist, you shouldn't have any issues with that. If you've been on one of these courses, which is maybe very cheap online, you need to make sure that's something that insurers will accept as a valid qualification. Again, this is quite a broad, complex area because every country has different regulations, legal regulations. Every country has different requirements around insurance. But really make sure that you have got something, your qualification is something that will be accepted as by an insurer as a validation of your professional competence. And obviously with all the big training schools, that shouldn't be an issue, but just really be aware of that, because if you haven't got that qualification from somewhere that's recognized, that's certified, and in some countries the bar is much higher than it is in other countries, you may have an issue with that. So hopefully that's really helpful. So in terms of where you can get this cover, again, there are plenty of insurers, specialist insurers. You want to be looking for specialist insurers. If you search on Google for hypnotherapy insurance or therapy insurance, you should get lots of things coming up. So in the UK, there are a number. I use one called Balens, B-A-L-E-N-S, and not a recommendation from them. I'm not getting paid anything from them, but I found them very good. Prices are very reasonable. It's really not a lot of money for the peace of mind and everything it gives you. It's easy to do, and the service always seems to be good when I'm renewing, I've been taking out my policy or making any changes to it. So that's typically a good one. And again, of course, when you work with a specialist like that, the policy is designed for hypnotherapists. It's designed specifically for you. They understand what you need, the level of cover should be there. There will be likely some optional extras. So I know with my insurer, with Balens, I have to pay extra for worldwide cover, including the US and Canada, and that increases the premium slightly. But yeah, it's really not a big amount of money. It's really not a big amount of money at all. It's probably significantly less than you pay for your car insurance for most people. So it's really important thing to have. And those insurers will typically ask you for your qualifications that show that you're certified to a standard that's recognized, and that basically you are low risk for them. So they will ask you for that. So again, that point about where's your qualification from, if you haven't already bought a course you're looking at, you need to make sure that is going to work. That's going to work for you. Otherwise, it could be an issue for you in getting that insurance. So I hope that's been really helpful. If you've got any more questions, please pop them in the comments sections below. And I hope that's really been helpful. In summary, you need insurance for peace of mind, for legal cover, to get access to various marketing online resources, to get places to work from. Make sure you're covered for the areas you're working in. Make sure you've got the right level of cover that suits your circumstances, and ideally choose a specialist who knows exactly how to give the right level of cover for us as hypnotherapists. Speak to you soon. Bye.